Hey guys, what is up? Big Reviews here, back again with another video, and this is going to be something totally different on this channel. I'm used to doing movie reviews, but I've been wanting to make this video for a while, and because Minecraft is a very important game to me. It helped me get through a lot of stuff in life, and I just love playing. It's my favorite game of all time, and I've had this creative world that you're seeing right here, which is a lot, but this is like 1/4 of the whole world. I've had this world, actually in a few days it'll be the 10th anniversary since I've made this world, and this is a world that me and some friends have just been building up over time, and it's not like a realistic world in the sense that, you know, it's like a realistic city. As you can see, I have a city right here, but then I also have cruise ships just floating next to it, and it's a super flat. We'll get into all that, but I kind of just wanted to show this world off, both to show it off and because I think it's cool. I know people like seeing Minecraft worlds, but also I want it as a time capsule for me, because, you know, maybe in 5 to 10 years, even 20 years, when I'm, you know, when I have kids and stuff, and all of a sudden I want to see what this looked like at the 10-year mark, I figured I'd do this, and I think it's cool. I wanted to show this world off a little bit. FYI, some of this stuff, I'm not going to sit here and say I built this off the dome top. A lot of the stuff, like the cruise ships, which we'll get into in a second, these are from YouTube and stuff. I can link some of them if I find them, but you guys have to remember, some of these buildings and stuff are 10 years old, so I don't know where I found these from, but just to let you know, and I'll point out if I made something myself, but any of the big scale stuff, it's from a guide. I'm going to take you through the world as if I'm building it. So I'm going to show you the first things that were built and stuff. And it's actually kind of cool because you're going to go from really shitty looking builds, but also it's kind of like cool because it's like, you know, 15-year-old me playing it, and you can tell, and you can see like the older blocks that we used to only have, and then see it evolve as updates came out. One thing that I want to mention is this came out of nowhere. So what me and my friends used to do when I was like 12, 13 was we used to just make a road. We'd get a creative world and make one singular road, and we would just build shit on each side of it. And that's what this road was originally going to be. As you can see right in front of me, we have this pixel art here. That's almost what the world was going to be. The first thing I actually built was this side of the airport. There's two sides of the airport here. As you can see, that one looks a little better. This one is the first one, and you can see from the planes that this is 15-year-old Joey just making something out of his ass. But then I was like, oh, I'll just make a little airport. I've always wanted to make a little airport. And then I was babysitting my cousin up in Seattle, my little cousin, and we basically was like, we made this world, and then I was like, oh, I'll make a little train, maybe make a little train to the station, make like a building. And then from there, I got back from Seattle where my cousin was, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm really gonna build this world up over time. This could be something I come back to. And just to prove it, we go over here. I like to put signs in my worlds. I really like to, because I feel like signs are a good way to, you know, just basically time capsule. So here's the sign I put 10 years ago, July 24th, 2015. It is July 11th, so we are just under, I don't know if I'm going to release this video day of or not. It's tough because Fantastic Four comes out the 24th for me, so I don't know. I kind of want to make a Fantastic Four video, but anyways, so then we make this, and we're going to skip a couple buildings, but we will come back to them. So we come over here. As you can see, originally it was just going to be trains. For some reason I was like, oh, I'll just have railways and stuff and not this road stuff. But we have this little train station. And I promise you, before you see this, this is not a joke. This is not me trying to have like dirty, edgy humor. This is just I was thinking of iconic buildings to make, and so I made the World Trade Centers. Some people might take that as me being like insensitive, but it has nothing to do with like a joke or anything. It just, I was thinking of famous buildings, and you'll see other ones. But basically, this is, you know, we have a hotel, and we have the World Trade Centers here. These were actually the first buildings I made. I also picked the World Trade Centers because they were easy to build. I mean, obviously they're not the exact World Trade Centers. They're not even the right color, let alone this texture. But this is 15-year-old Joey just spamming quartz blocks. This is actually the first building I made, which is a hotel, and you can tell because it's ass. Secondly, the inside's done. And what you're gonna notice with a lot of these buildings is that the interior is not done. Like, look at this, and it's because it's weird. I want to go for like a good-looking, almost realistic city at times, but then again, I just don't have the passion for Minecraft that much. Like, this would kill me. If I did the interiors for all these things you see, I wouldn't even be towards the cruise ships and everything you're about to see, like the big stuff, because I just wouldn't have time. I mean, there's so many buildings in here, each floor would take forever. But then we have like the little downtown, and as you can tell, like this little trident my friend made, doesn't make sense why it's there, but you know, I wanted to keep it just for, you know, keepsake. And then we have like another box building that's just white, and we have some buildings like here's like the Sears Tower, you know, famous building, and you could tell these buildings are kind of shit, like these inner city ones right here. And then this was actually really cool. I made this in like 2016. I thought I thought I was amazing. I did go through here recently and just kind of like make some quality of life stuff. Like I added like pixel art, like as if it's like a billboard, you know, stuff like that. You're gonna see all these tracks here. There's about 10 tracks, and you're wondering what that is. So 15-year-old me wanted my friends to come and make their own house, and I was like, oh, it'd be so cool, we could all work together. So we all work in one of the trade centers. So that's where the rail goes. And right here, quick, this wasn't one of the first things we built, but I actually called this Road of Creations. And what I was originally going to do was have this road just go infinite. And if people wanted to build pixel art, they just build it here. And I think I stopped that because, as you'll see the map room in a second, I don't wanted us to just move north. So you're going to see it. It's going to look like a rectangle, and I don't want us to go any more left, right, or down. I want us to just build up. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. Maybe we'll branch out eventually. It's just now, because we're at the point where it's so far north that if we move left, we're going to have to move everything. And yeah, we have a little airport terminal. There's Chernobyl right next to a farm. Again, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. And this is where me and my friends there is a jewel. My friend made a jewel. That was not mine. I don't do jewels. But this is where all my friends live. So we have my house. We have my friend Shane, Billy, Jordan, Casey, Lewis, Louie, Connor Minton, Logan and my friend Connor, Seth. And yeah, it's just anyone who joins the world who plays Minecraft a little bit. And my friend John, who is the NASA building. John, you're going to hear his name a few more times. He's my good friend. He's really good at building. He does a lot of stuff off the dome top, and he does these big things. So he did build NASA, and he ended up just saying, screw it. This is where I'm going to live. This is my house, and I don't blame him. We each get a color for our for the beacon. And so, like I said, I like to do signs. So here's a sign, it says, end games in 1 week. I hope Tony or Cap don't die. I just love doing stuff like that because I look back on like what my mindset was back then. It's really cool. You will see a Kobe sign. I was actually playing this world when Kobe sadly passed away. I will show you where exactly I was when I read the tweet, but my friend actually came in and built this. There's something really cool, actually. So to prove, like some people sometimes don't believe it, to prove my world was built almost 10 years ago on the Xbox 360. As you know, Xbox 360 worlds used to be a really small square, and if you remember, if you're an unk like me, there was like a world border you couldn't really go past. It was like you would only have a set section. This is my nether. It's literally a square, and I actually loaded this in for the first time like a few months ago just because I was curious. You can tell where it originally ended in my old world before the updates came out, before we got next gen, and it just really, I don't know why it's not loading, but it's really crazy to see. Like it's literally a box. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I always thought about doing nether builds, but then I was like, that's kind of lame because also my nether portal's like fucked up. We always spawn over here. In the nether, I want to show it off on the world map, which I'm going to show you now as a teaser to what we're going to get into, because right now I'm showing you a lot of old builds and stuff, and I feel like, obviously you'll be like, that's lame, but we're going to get to some builds that actually look cool. Okay, so this is the whole world, and as you can see, we've been going north. The reason, again, why I'm not going left or right is because now I'm at the point where if I go left or if I go right, we're gonna have to build all the way north again to make it uniform, right? And I know it's not like a square or uniform or whatever, but we'd have to build a lot far right and left to really make this look uniform. So I was like, screw it, fuck the uniformity, if that's even a word, and we're just gonna go north. The more north you go, the more new you get. For example, like some of these cruise ships were actually done yesterday, and this like Avengers Campus and this Titanic. I'm a big Titanic head. Like I'm really interested in that night and what happened. So I have a couple Titanics on here, but we're going to get into that. But the bigger builds, as you can see, huge. I mean, the top half of this is almost as big as the bottom half, and it's literally one build stuff. So you'll see what we're getting into. My eventual plans, which I will show, is about north from the Avengers Tower. I do want to have a second city. I want to get like a more modern, actually realistic looking city, and then it'll be like 2 cities. But I might never ever get that in this life, or if I do, I'll be old as hell. Again, you really have to suspend disbelief if you haven't already. Like we have a baseball field here right next to a launching space shuttle, right next to the Simpsons house. Usually if there's plots of land, I just tell people, build wherever. I'm actually going to ditch the showing you in order stuff just because it's getting really kind of like weird, like because I have to fly over a bunch of stuff. So I'm just gonna go over here. So this, I want you to take a second to guess what this is. Have you guessed yet? This is Back to the Future. It is my favorite movie of all time, and my friend John's one of his favorite movies of all time. So this was the first thing he built in here, which is Hill Valley. So we have Doc up here is the clock tower, and here's the DeLorean going back in time, and here we have when he goes back in time for the first time, and then he's getting shot at by the terrorists. There's Doc, dead on the ground, and I just thought that was pretty cool. I really like this area a lot. And here we have Jurassic Park. So he's, like I said, he's really good. If we step here, step on these plates, it actually plays the theme song to Jurassic Park. I'll unmute now for you to hear this. That's actually one of my favorite things in the world. It's pretty funny. So yeah, this is Jurassic Park. Obviously, it's not like realistic, but we have like, what we do is we like to take like items from it and just like work around it and make it Minecrafty. So this is, you know, obviously the main visiting center. We have the Bronchosaurus eating leaves. You know, the iconic shot. We have the raptor and the raptor pad, and then we have the iconic T-Rex, you know, scene where here's the bathroom, and a little continuity error because the feet are already out here before he walked, but here he is like breaking through, and there's the goat that he eats and all that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We're actually gonna, like I just said, we're gonna go this way now. I'm saving the big stuff for last, but here's Bikini Bottom. Again, why? It just popped in my head. I want to build it. You know, Mr. Krabs, Sandy Cheeks, you know, everything you love about the interior is done. So now if I get like really bored and like it's not that much, I will do the interior to some builds, which you'll see. But see, like, you know, Chum Bucket made on November 5th, right? It's just like little, even if it's like a little building, I do like to do. I put some cars somewhere. Here's an Aldi, you know, here's a cinema. And as you can see, these skyscrapers look way better than the ones that I showed you earlier. And that's because this was when I added on to the city, and I really wanted to get some better skyscrapers, because I was originally just going to go north, like I said, a bit, and then build another skyscraper and build like a city. But I was like, I think this city needs more skyscrapers. So I just looked up some, and I just, you know, did this. And this ugly building, my friend Jordan made this about 9 years ago, and it was originally really small, and it was a prison, and it was just so much to take down. So I was like, you know, I'll just build it up at least. So I wish there were skyscrapers here, but again, that's what happens when you're building something for 10 years and your older self, who has a better grasp of stuff, you know, goes against your younger self who was just building to build. Here's the Avengers Tower. If anyone's from Orlando, I'm from Orlando. This is the I-4 eyesore, which if you guys, if you watch this video, you don't know, this is a building on I-4 near Orlando that has been under construction for 20 years. We call it the I-4 eyesore because it never gets under construction. It's so ridiculous. Here's a hospital. You know, here's a little twisty building. I got some planes and stuff flying. And this is my first ship big build I ever built. This is the Titanic. And okay, my friend did add the Titan submersible actually recently. I know I'm fucked up, sorry. But this is the Titanic. Now, what I did was I found some, I don't even know how I found it or where it is. I found some 3D model, and it was so bad. I would zoom in and I would have to guess, because the model kind of looked like this, where like, you know, you can't see the outline of the blocks, right? So I really had to like guess. I had to go off of, okay, like right here, for example, I'm like, okay, there's a block above it that's one singular block, there's another block, so this must be two, and that's how I did it. I think it came out pretty good. Remember, I made this like 7 years ago. Here's a little zoo. I like to add like all the animals in the game, especially like when ones are new. You could tell when they're new when I'm running out of area. Like here's armadillos that were just added, you know. I have 2 armadillo enclosures, actually. I just don't think I changed anything. Doofenshmirtz Evo Incorporated right here. And then this is the most neglected part of the map. This is the part of the map that no one really comes to. I don't know why. It's just because I really needed to fill this space in. Big Red Reviews. My friend made that. Here's a Taco Bell. I really needed this space to be filled in. So I was like, screw it. I'll build a neighborhood. I don't really have a neighborhood on this server. And it's nice. It's cool. Like I looked up different houses for each of these, and it was really cool. But obviously, I mean, there's no reason to come here, especially since we're building more. So this is really neglected area. And as you can see, like over here, that's like a Dunkin' Donuts we didn't even finish. But this was originally going to be built as well. But then I just got so bored of this area of the map. I don't know why. I think it was because it was so close to where I began. I was like, screw it. We're going to go north. And I'm done. Here we have some airplanes. Obviously, it's not really like practical that all these airplanes are landing at the same time, and there's 2 already docked, so there's nowhere for all these planes to go. But shut up, okay? I have this, which I should actually do more, which is like a building under construction. I think that's a cool concept. I do want to do more of that. But over here is actually where you could see me coming in, actually just adding stuff to make the world just a little more lively. Like here's like a bus stop, and here's like, you know, trash cans, and on some of the skyscrapers around, you'll see even like window cleaners. So like right here, you'll see a window cleaner just chilling, and it's just little stuff to make it more lived in. Obviously, I wish I could do the interiors, but I mean, you guys have to give me that pass. I mean, I don't know how people do it. That would take forever. And like I said, I love signs. So my friend John made this, and here's a sign he made. I ask everyone, if you make a big build, leave a sign. I think it's cool. And some of my friends have hid signs so well that I don't think I've found a sign yet. There's some signs I haven't found. Here's a little, Ferris wheel. So now we're getting to the big stuff. Now we're getting to the stuff that we actually have been working on for a few years and just finished, actually, like within the last week or two. And these cruise ships, for example, there's 7 of them, and just some of the newer stuff that I've actually been expanding to. So one, I'm not going to show this all off because it is like my house, but this is my house. This is actually how my house looks. My friend made this off memory, and yeah, I do want to show you where I'm at right now. Boom, here's my game room, guys. I'm literally right in this seat talking to you, and there's the wall back there. So I think it's kind of cool. I think it's funny. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Here's my car. If you're my friend and you want to see this, hit me up and I'll show you. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I show like my whole inside of my house, Here's Up House. I love Up, one of my favorite movies of all time. So I thought it was pretty cool to do this. This was a boy band that I used to film for a few years and travel with them. And this was the house they actually lived at. So I would go there and, film for them and edit and stuff. So I was like, screw it. I think it's kind of cool to do that next to my house. Here's a little cop. This is my friend John's house in real life, his old house. And so obviously, as you know, when you do a super flat, villages spawn, and this is an old seed, so I only get the old villages. I don't get the new stuff. So this was here, and I was like, you know what? I think it'll be cool to leave this one because I was kind of bored and didn't really want to build anything. And I was like, we can make like an abandoned village. So I kind of like broke some blocks, put some of the cobweb down, put some skeleton heads and stuff. I just, I thought it'd be kind of funny to make this like an abandoned village type. And I think I even wrote abandoned. Yeah, town here. And this X here, so this isn't like part of like the abandoned look. What this was a part of the, as you can see right here, I had to delete some of these houses, but a part of the, when I was making these cruise ships and stuff, we had a joke that like these villagers are seeing like industrialism in front of their very eyes. So I was like, it'd be funny if we put a red X so they know that we're coming soon to destroy them. Ironically, this is one of the only villages that I did not tear down. But as you can picture, there's a lot. And I do wish, my one gripe that I tell everyone with this world is I do wish I did not make it super flat. Now, obviously, I didn't know when I was 15, 10 years ago, that I would be building on this still to this day. But if I were to make it now, I would definitely not make it super flat. And both kind of worlds come with their pros and cons. Like, obviously, with this world, I don't have to break into a mountain. But I just feel like it would flow a lot better. I can build my city, and then these cruise ships can actually be out on the water. I can make it look really cool. I can make a dock. I've always been like really mad at myself that I didn't do that. But let's talk about the cruise ships. These are the biggest thing. Also, I didn't show you guys right here quick. Actually, this is transit. If you've played COD Zombies, this is transit. Here's the diner. Now die, and this is the bus stop, and here's a Moe's and here's a Chili's. But there's some Star Wars stuff. I need stuff to fill in here. So I was like, here's a AT-AT, a Millennium Falcon, TIE Fighter, soccer field right there. And there's the UCF Knights, obviously, because that was my college I went to. And yeah, so I said earlier about how what I was building when Kobe died. And as you can see, the date, January 26, 2020, I was right here. And this is actually the exact block I was on. That's why I put this here. I was actually watching the video to like finish up in here, and all of a sudden my tweet, it said Kobe died. I was like, no. And so I had to like, I finished building later, and I was like, trying to find out what happened. But yeah, so let's get into the cruise ships, guys. As you know, as obviously some of the videos I posted recently, and if you're my friend or even like a semi like friend, like you're not really close with me, I cruise a lot. My mom's a travel agent. My dad loved cruising, and I love cruising. And so I cruise a lot. So I was like, let me build a cruise ship. So I built one of the first cruise ships I remember a memory on, which is the Disney Magic. And that was originally going to be it. I was like, that was a fucking pain in the ass. This guy that I watched the video from, who makes really good builds, his name's like Chicken Gaming. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. He just makes cruise ship videos. He would build. So I started building this, right? And he would go here by layer and just start building like to the right. And then I'm like, okay, he's going to come back and do the left. He's on PC, so he has like this magic stick that he just clicks, and like the right side, so he only did this side of the ship, and it would just copy to the left. So then I was like, oh my god. So then I literally like finished this, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. And then I was like, actually, then I went on this ship, which is the Carnival Mardi Gras, and I was like, you know what, let's do this. I like how it looks. And I just kind of got a rhythm of, you know, I would do half of the boat, and then I would just pause this video and then do the other half, and it was tedious as fuck, but as you can tell, like, these ships really came out nice. Again, no interior. He does do some interiors of the ships, and those are ridiculous. I mean, these ships are humongous. They're like 400 blocks long, and I have 7 of them. But I do think I'm officially retiring from cruise ship building. I don't know. I'll probably do another one in the future, but I've built like a lot in the past few years, and this Titanic build I'll show you soon, and some of these ships took forever. Like, here's the Harmony of the Seas, and here's the Independence of the Seas. Here's Carnival Splendor. So these 4 I think I've built in the past year only. Yeah, this was 2024. So as you can tell, I don't know what got into me. I built this. It's almost, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't know what it is. I just really like you know, so what I'll do is I'll download a world, a ship that I like onto my computer, Minecraft, and then I'll just be here, and I'll see like the layer by layer. So I'll literally go, it's tedious, but I don't know why. I just really like doing it. It's like, okay, imagine this is me on PC. Okay, here's 3, 3, 3, and then I'll literally go to my Xbox, do 3, 3, 3, and I'll go back, and then I can obviously copy the other side from visual. But yeah, here's the Norwegian Pearl. I actually did a Dude Perfect cruise on here. My mom won it, so I went for free. But obviously, as you can tell, like, the side was a pain in the ass to do. And this one, Carnival Fantasy, this is the first cruise I went on when I came back into cruising. So I would cruise a lot. My dad passed away. I stopped cruising then. And then 2016, my good friend Christian invited me. And ever since then, I've been cruising again. So this was like the one I went on. And this is, I actually finished yesterday. I'm pretty sure. What's today? The 11th? Pretty sure I finished this on the 10th. Yeah, so as you can tell, yeah, see, it took 8 days. That one actually took a month and a half, because then me and my friend started a Survivor World midway through, and I stopped working on it. But yeah, so as you can tell, I'm done. First off, I don't have any room. Second off, that's 7 cruise ships. I always look for stuff. I do want to build the Icon, but not a lot of people have built that. And the ones who have, it doesn't look good. So, you know, I was like, okay, I'll stop at 7. And obviously I had this build here, so I kind of like built this in the thought of the back of my mind, like, okay, this will stop me from building cruise ships. And, you know, we can always go back to them. If I see a nice one, I might find some space. But obviously, as you can see here, we're building still. So, and this over there and this are the 3 biggest builds on the server, and we're saving those for last because clickbait. All this stuff is new relatively in the past year or two. As you can see, Death Star in the sky. Again, doesn't make sense. Dunder Mifflin, I'm a big Office fan, so I'm not going to go in here because it's just, like, kind of a pain in the ass. But, like, as you can see, this is the conference room, and this is Michael's office and stuff. And I built this from my dome top, actually, but I think it came out pretty decent. Basketball court. Family Guy and South Park back to back. Here's the Shrek Swamp, which I'll show in a bit. Here's a fair. Here's Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Here's Steve's Lava Chicken and Chicken Jocker. And, yeah. So there's a little fun stuff. And I always look up builds that, like, make your city more lived in as much as you can. So I came across this and I built it. And I thought it was really cool because it's almost like, you know, now your city has, like, a whole underwater thing. I thought it was pretty dope. But obviously, I'm still building here. These roads I actually finished, like, right before I filmed. I just wanted to get a road up here. So now let's get on to the big 3, and we'll start with, I think we'll save Hogwarts for last, but as you can see, it's humongous. Here is Avengers Campus. I pulled this one out of my ass, thought-wise. I found a world, I really liked it. I was looking for cruise ships, actually, and I was like, you know, I think it'd be cool to build Avengers Campus. And I saw this, and it was a fucking tedious thing. I think it took me a month. It took me, oh wow, it took me 12 days. Okay, so it took me about 2 weeks. And, I mean, obviously, a lot of this stuff wasn't, like, it's tedious. It's just literally me. I'd be watching a TV show and I'll just like hold LT and I'll you know do it. Like obviously some of these were tough because it's like at an angle. And actually I fucked up. And not a lot of people know this, but I really fucked up here. As you can tell, like this road was supposed to connect right up against the circle, but for some reason I don't know if I went too far right or not. It messed up, so I had to do that. And then actually right here I messed up on too. This was supposed to go like. This was supposed to start like here, but then I don't know. Like, I guess I shifted over 2 blocks, but yeah. So this is Avengers HQ. I don't know if I said tower or campus earlier, but this is Avengers HQ. Here is this is where like all the Quinjets stay and stuff, and There they are in there. And this building actually has a full interior. I don't know why. I saw it and I was like, if I'm going to go all out, this is the biggest build I've personally ever done, minus all the cruise ships. As you can see, the cruise ships do look cool, so that's why I always build them. But, so this is actually a full interior. And I'm not going to really show it because I'm a big Marvel fan. I don't really even know, like, what the inside of Avengers, HQ looks like. I guess people have just stitched this together from, like, movies and stuff, but yeah, this is a whole interior. There's like 3 floors, and yeah, this is the back side that we never really see, I guess. And then the only part that's really recognizable to me is like right here, and this is when like Tony came up to Cap during Endgame and was like, "Hey, I solved time travel," and this is where Ant-Man like lost his taco, and this is where the fucking Quinjet landed. So yeah, then we're gonna get to over here. This, as I said before, I'm a big Titanic fan. Obviously not of the sinking and people dying, but like I'm just so fascinated in what happened that night and how this like mega liner just sank and all the stories that came out of it. So I had that Titanic, and in the back of my head it was I always wanted to build it sinking somehow, but I know Minecraft and diagonal shapes are just really tedious and hard to do. And then I found this online and I was like, I actually go to just the planetminecraft.com and look up Titanic or stuff and you'll find it. But I found this and it was really cool, and especially since Vibrant Visuals came out, it looks really sick underwater with all the shadows and stuff. But this is like my nerd self, I've actually gone here and I've put like timestamps for certain things. So 11:39 iceberg spotted, and in the cockpit here, or on the bridge, it says 11:40 collision with iceberg, and over there's like 2:25 or 2:15 the ship breaks and stuff. And this one took about 2 weeks as well. September 16th, yeah, about 2 weeks. So this one was a big build as well. I'm not counting the ship that took a month and a half, because the only reason it took a month and a half was because I did a survival world in the middle and I didn't play creative at all. But this one is the longest with 14 days. And I think this one was... What was Avengers Campus? Avengers Campus was 12 days. So yeah, what the fuck? My friend did this. I hate floating trees. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves in Minecraft, so they do it on purpose to piss me off. But, so yeah, this one took 2 weeks, or this one took whatever, and this was the longest build, mainly because the water took forever, because I'm like, I need source blocks, and as you know, that's a pain in the ass. But that one took the second longest, for me personally. But yeah, I really think it's cool. I mean, again, like, here's the lifeboats going, and I wish there was a map I found where like it's up in the air with the propellers out, but this will do as, it's just sinking. I think it looks cool. Here's Quidditch. So I built this myself. So my friend John was really spearheading we called it the Hogwarts project. This thing took 2 years, and it's a lot of work, but we started this right when we started filming for that boy band I mentioned earlier. And with that boy band, we were flying around, we were filming. It was a lot of work. We were really busy. I was never really home. So we started it, and little by little, we'd put it together. John got a girlfriend. I got another job. We didn't have a lot of time. So like we'd come on here for like an hour every like 2 weeks and just do stuff for 1 hour. So as you know, it can be really slow. Then we got into a groove after the boy band thing. We stopped filming for that for multiple reasons or whatever. Nothing like cynical or anything. We just moved on. So John was like, hey, I mean, if you really want to build something, build this Quidditch pitch. He sent me the video. Tedious as hell. As you can tell, there's multiple towers. There's some of them was on a diagonal. And it was a video, so it's really hard to follow like what he's doing, especially when it comes to like these colors and stuff. But I think it looks really sick, and obviously around it is the Forbidden Forest. Obviously Titanic's right next to us, so it doesn't make sense, but you gotta suspend disbelief a little bit. And the same thing with the Titanic is here. I did quotes around here, so this is like a quote from Chamber of Secrets when Harry's arm's broken. And we'll get actually to Hogwarts. This is probably the biggest build on the server, easily, especially time-wise. Like I said, I'll show you how much time it took. And mainly it's because these were a pain in the ass. So as you can see, this right here, the mountain, John did by hand, this part right here. And he's really good at terraforming. I'm not good at like making mountains look realistic. As you can see here, it starts to be cobblestone, and that's because we actually started lava casting. So people who don't play Minecraft as much or whatever, lava casting is where we spam lava and then we put water on top of it, and that turns it to stone. And then we would do it down here, and it would actually look like a natural mountain. So it saved us a lot of time in the end. And this is really what we were stuck on for over a year, because the main big parts of the castle were done. But like I said, the mountain just took forever. And here's the Great Hall. Again, the interior is not here, but I have like, you know, how dare you stand where he stood. It's cringe as fuck, guys, but I just think it's pretty cool. And yeah, here's the signs. I put the sign up almost 2.5 years ago. January 6th, 2023. We literally started with the boy band 2 weeks later, which is like, it was like the worst timing, but obviously this is a video game. That was a career choice, so I did that. And as you can see, we finished this 10 days ago. I was actually on John's ass, and I was like, I will help you, whatever. Let's finish this, because I wanted this done before I did this video, before the 10 years. I didn't want this to be half-assed. We actually finished like right here. Yeah, this is the whole Hogwarts, guys. I mean, we had to cut out Hagrid's hut and some stuff back here because of me. Because, again, this is the line. Remember, I told you the map, we don't go right or left. So I was like, okay, I don't want to go past there. Originally, there would be a bridge here and, like, Hagrid's here. I just told him, screw it. It's like the magnum opus of the world, almost. We have this, and obviously here's the Whomping Willow. And this was a grind. John was grinding away at this. Once we got, again, this part of the castle was mainly done. It was really just like the ground and stuff. That's when I came in and helped John, you know, lava cast this and fill in some stuff. And it was a pain in the ass, but it looks freaking great. And John, you know, really wanted to know that, you know, he grinded, so he made a little statue of himself. People say it's Herobrine. He just wears the Herobrine skin, so that's really for John. But yeah, so right here is, now you can see like some builds we're actually in the middle of working on, which is 3 blocks down almost. But this is going to be like Diagon Alley and all that. John actually does want to build this, and I told him I don't want to wait that as long as this one, but he said since when he does it off the dome top, it's way more fun and way more like easy for him to do. With Hogwarts, he watched 30 plus videos of this guy who was making it, and it was just really tedious for him. But yeah, this is the world, guys. I mean, I obviously it's a video game, but I just think it's really cool. I know a lot of people love Minecraft. I just love it. I love capturing memories and just like sticking stuff and frozen in time. And I just really like how Minecraft's that type where, like, yes, I play this world, you know, almost every week, you know, so obviously I take breaks for some months and stuff, but then I come back and I can easily just keep building what I want, or I can go through memory lane, like, oh, here's a building I made in 2016, and here's my house from 2015 and 2018 and all this. Oh, what was I doing in 2018? I was graduating. You know, I just think it's really cool. And I always suggest anyone who, like, semi-hardcore games or plays Minecraft, you know, always have a creative world. Build something, even if you don't touch it for a year. You know, then if you ever want to build something, just go back, even if it's like a 3-year gap, you know. I did take my longest break on this was like a year or two. Like, and it was crazy coming back and then just building. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a different type of video than my movie stuff, but I figured I really wanted to show this off, and because I'm proud of it, show off a little bit, and I want a little time capsule. But as always, guys, it's been Joey. More movie reviews coming soon. Fantastic Four is coming out very soon. Depending on when this video's up, I might already have a review for it. I don't know yet. But until then, it's Joey. See you later.